2, 1. Hello, Jim. Hello, Christina. Hello, Towel Friends on the Towel YouTube. I'm a little towel. As we're waiting for this hearing to get started, roll the intro. Intro.
Hold on. Wait a second. That's it. That's it? Yeah, that's the melody to Funky Town.
You heard the towel, ladies and gentlemen. Now, that's not me, by the way. That is NBC Boston. All right? They have gotten permission to broadcast the Zoom. Now, Kate Peter was spreading all sorts of wild rumors about the media not being allowed to be on the Zoom. That is the NBC 10 feed. They are clearly going to be allowed on the Zoom. As such, we are going to watch this hearing. If you're just tuning in, it's a Karen Reed, John O'Keefe hearing. There's been so many apoplectic developments, I don't even really know what to say. I'm a little bit of a perplexed towel. There's just so many things going on. You know what I'm saying? Kate Peters losing her mind. Lindsay Gattani's just owning everyone. It's a glorious day to be alive. Also, I finished law school. I have to do my final, but I did it. Ladies and gentlemen, I lived up to my promise to my father. I finished law school. I am going to get a JD as long as somebody pays for my outstanding bill. That, by the way, it's not like I just expect Towel Mom to pay for it. She said she was going to pay for it, and then she just abandoned me. So, look at that. I basically finished law school. That's me. Look at me. I'm a little towel. Aren't I adorable? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Towel has finished his final law school class. It is a bittersweet day. Yay! Thank you, Ralph and Peggy and Jim. I'm so grateful to be able to celebrate with you today. I said, and with that, it is official. Towel has completed all of his law school classes. One final to go until I am Towel JD. I hope I've made you all proud. I gave it my very best. Thank you to everyone who helped me get this far. I am eternally grateful. Which is true. I'm a little towel. Yay! Hello, Noel. It's so good to see you. I finished law school. Thank you, Claudia. What a glorious day to be a little towel. Yes, that's me. And that's me confirming that I did it. I hit 80%. You have to go to 80% of the classes. I did it by the skin of my towel teeth. But my word, did I do it. Yay, little towel. All right. I'm thrilled. Thank you all for your kind words. Look at all. David Yannetti said congrats to me. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Oh, I know. Peggy's lobbying Towel Mom in the comments. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, what a glorious day. David Yannetti has said congrats to me for finishing my final law school class. Oh, this is a glorious day. Yes, as we wait for the civil case hearing to start, look at all these wonderful towel friends jumping in. My dear friend Anthony Barton said, I love you, my brother Grant. Sophis Kate said, congratulations, way to go. Sir Thomas A. Wade said, congrats, pal. Laura said, congratulations, Grant. My favorite Scottish person, Nicola Maxwell, said, that's an achievement. Well done. Another win for the towel. Good job. The country of Scotland for creating Nicola. She's a very good benefit to the world. She's a diplomat of the highest order. Michigan Meg said, that's awesome. What an accomplishment. As I mentioned, I want to say it again, but Anthony said, I love you, my brother Grant. Towel loves Anthony Barton as well. Wendy says, awesome. It's not that Wendy. I don't think Towel Mom's going to tell me she's proud of me, but all the rest of the world did. Beatrix, thank you so much. I love the gift. K.Y. Maverick, who I think is a lawyer, said, congratulations. Now you can give the finger to Shannon Burgess. I don't know if this is a compliment or not, but DC said, I'll be a real Johnny Cochran. Deb G says, congratulations to you, Grant. The First Amendment is DOA, said that is great, Grant. Please use your superpowers for good. LOL. Sheila says, congratulations. First Amendment says that is a great accomplishment. Congratulations. And then Wendy says, congratulations. Jojo M5 says impressive congrats, as does Be With an Itch. Now, Bill Brickhouse left a very good comment, which said, you should thank your mom instead of talking about her on social media. Even if you have differences, she has clearly supported you with love. Taking a moment of reflection and fix the issue. Congratulations on your accomplishment. You should be proud. First of all, did you know there's a case called the Brickhouse case, which has to do with the two-pronged standard for whether the Sixth Amendment applies in the context of adversarial proceedings, and in particular whether the Sixth Amendment attaches versus whether there's a critical stage in the proceeding. So it's kind of like the difference of when you are entitled to a lawyer versus when a lawyer actually has to be there. You don't have to have a lawyer there with you for your Sixth Amendment right to attach. Anyway, my point is, Brickhouse, I think that's fair. Towel Mom has supported me very much for a long time, but I'm also very disabled. Like, I literally was in graduate school working at the BC Library. I wanted to be a Jesuit priest in 2014 when I fell disabled overnight. I don't know if folks understand. I was like literally in the hospital getting lumbar punctures. I was bedbound basically, and it took 7 years till I was able to even like go to school. I fought through physical disabilities. I did everything I could. I was very dependent on my mother, especially now that my father's no longer with us. God rest his soul. And when you're dependent on someone and then they just abandon you, you're like, what do I do now? And it's not like I'm a regular human. I'm very on the spectrum. I have manifold physical comorbidities. I have all these issues. So I don't know. I'm doing my best. I just want the degree to get paid for so I get the JD. All right, that's what we're working on. JM Moore, hello, my dear friend. So we are monitoring. Hold on, we're monitoring the NBC 10 feed. Okay, they are on the Zoom. All right, they're not in the Zoom, but their whole feed is just their desktop logged into the Zoom. So instead of you just watching that, you can watch me comment on that, and if the hearing starts, we'll go right over to it. Thank you, Nancy, my dear friend. Yeah, Claudia, Towel Mom and I are in a little bit of a battle right now, and I think it's because she has a conflict of interest with Michael Proctor's family, by the way. Just so we're saying, I think like Peter talks to people's family to alienate them. Like, I think she talks to Lindsay's mom. I think she tries to talk to my mom as like a form of control. That's really fucked up. So we got a spider. We just got to get Towel enough money to pay for his degree and take the bar and then live. And then we'll be able to spite Kate Peter. All right? Everybody on the same page? Where did I stand on the Duke lacrosse thing? Yeah, great question, Jim. So Mike Nifong was disbarred for a reason. Okay, like I'm very sympathetic to the perspective of the victim involved and all that, but like that was way overboard. The prosecution went way overboard, and to get disbarred as a prosecutor, you really gotta mess up. So Mike Nifong got disbarred for a reason, and you can read Durham in Wonderland. It's a good blog if you want to see the breakdown of kind of. I don't know, my mom, I think, was a little pot committed. She's not, like, malintentioned. I think it's just, like, she really wants to make a point about victims. But then also, she's very, like, close to police, and especially the state police. So it's like, is she a fixer? Does she catch and kill certain things? I don't know, bro. Like, I just wish she would, like, choose me over, like, Kate Peter and Michael Proctor and Jen McCabe. Like, fuck those people. They're not going to be in her life very long. But anyway, it's very complicated. It's very political. Speaking of all of those people, while we're waiting for this hearing to get started and to see if... so here's what I was told for folks who are just tuning in. I called the clerk's office when I heard Kate Peter was spreading rumors about media not being allowed in the hearing, etc. I called the clerk's office and I said, is media going to be allowed in? And they said, we've been directing media to the Public Information Office. Okay, so clearly NBC 10 called the Public Information Office and they gave them a link to a Zoom. Because if you go on NBC 10, which is the primary channel that covers this case, all they have on the screen is the Zoom waiting to be let in to the courtroom where the hearing's going to take place. All right. So if everyone's just wondering what's going on, that is what's going on. Now, why am I using the NBC 10 feed? Well, because they do most of the pool feed. So I trust them to do this process correctly. I am not logged into the Zoom. All right. So this kind of removes me from the process. It allows them to do what they're going to do. I'm going to rebroadcast their feed because it's a pool feed. All right. That's where we're at. This is a motion hearing in the civil case in Plymouth Superior Court. all right, involving Karen Reed, John O'Keefe. Now, no one knows whether or not this Zoom is going to start. I understand that the media is being directed to the Public Information Office and that this link, whatever they got, was probably distributed through the Public Information Office. So I have no reason to think that we're not going to be able to see this hearing. Okay, I did my due diligence. As a reporter, I called one clerk who made me call another clerk, and then the other clerk made me call the PIO. And I wasn't able to talk to the PIO, but in these conversations, I have discerned that that is what the media was asked to do. You see what you got to do? You got to go through all these hoops, and you got to figure out what's going on. And this is where I got. Okay, I got that media were going to be directed to this Zoom. It's not that people aren't allowed in the courtroom. It's that there is no one in the courtroom. It's a Zoom hearing. All right, I got that directly from the clerk. It is a Zoom hearing. So if you're just tuning in, you're trying to get the updates, that's the most diligent, accurate, to-the-minute information I can give you. That as of 1:50 p.m. Oh, thank you, Gabagoo. I got to thank David Unetti. I want to write the tweet appropriately. Should we pen, while we're waiting for this, you want to pen a thank you tweet to David Unetti together? All right, here we go. All right, hold on. Let's do this together. All right, ready? Everybody ready? Hold on. You're not going to be able to see everything I'm typing, but let's do it. Oh, wow. This is an incredible honor. Thank you very much to David Unetti for these well wishes on my last day of law school class. It means so much to me. And I am so glad to be heading into such a rewarding field for those. I'm so grateful to him. What a nice guy. You know, he came up to me in court one time and he was just very kind to me. So he's a nice guy. And you can't really hold it against people when they have positions on cases. You know what I'm saying? It's their job. That's what they got to do. Not saying I endorse every tactic every lawyer uses. I've seen some weird lawyers do some weird things. But on the whole, I'm a pretty good lawyer. And he's more the tactician anyway. AJ was the PR guy. Although David did some good PR. If you look back at August of 2022, David got Court TV and Flint McCooligan from the Herald to cover Karen's case before AJ was involved. So that's no small thing to get Court TV to come down. There's just this interview of David Unetti I found from August of 2022. He's alone on the courthouse steps. It was August 11th or something of 2022. He's alone. Karen had been indicted 2 months earlier. It was bound over from district to superior court. It's just him standing under the portico of the court with a one Court TV camera. That's where this all started. I'll tell you that. I found that clip somewhere. It was hard to find. All right. So we still don't know what's going on here. As far as I understand, they're hopefully going to let NBC 10 into the Zoom so we can watch the hearing. Now, I'm not in control of this. I just want to let you all understand. Neither myself nor NBC Boston nor any other media outlet is in control of this. This is how they're doing it, okay? This is how the court is doing it. We are literally watching the desktop of NBC 10, all right? And that's what we're going to do. We are going to sit here. I'll grab the Court TV feed, but I can almost promise you they won't even go live until they get let into the Zoom, if they even have a feed of this. They probably do. They're Court TV. Like I said, they were the first ones on this case, so let's see what they got up, or if they even have it scheduled. But yeah, I'll be with you, and if we just don't get into the hearing, as unfortunate as that would be, then no one will get into the hearing, and all media outlets will find that out together, but I'll at least take you through it as it goes. All right, nothing on Court TV. All right, so I don't think Court TV is taking it, probably because they can't be in the courtroom. All right, so that's what we're doing. That is what we're doing. We're going to monitor the exact same thing that NBC 10 is monitoring. And that's... Now, I can put on a recap video for you to get you prepared for all this if you want to get caught up on some of the Turtle Boy developments and whatnot. But the reality is no one is in control of this. No one in the media, is in control of this. We are all at the whims of the court administrator. All right, so if they let NBC Boston in, you're going to hear the hearing, we're going to see the hearing. If they don't, then all of us together, whether you're watching NBC Boston or this stream, are going to do it. We're going to find that out at the same time. Now, let me see, what can I play for you? Oh, right, yeah, let's read a little bit about this Aiden Kearney filing. It's pretty interesting. It has a lot of interesting information, and I want to see if anything actually went up. I guess lunch just ended. Let's see if anything went up on the Kearney docket, or if anything, if there's any movement on like an indictment out of Norfolk Superior Court. So let me just look at the public mass courts before we start watching our overview. And it might also not be the only case in this session, so maybe they're hearing some other cases before they bring this one in. I'm checking the docket, by the way, just to see if there's any filings in the Kearney case. Cosgrove's a few days overdue. Nothing there. And then obviously there's multiple IA investigations going on, so it's probably not just about Proctor anymore if you missed that news. The Norfolk DA submitted a filing on the Walsh docket indicating that there's multiple troopers under active IA investigation. So let me just show you that document right here. Alright, this just went up right now. Thanks to Dee Dee from Team Docket Rocket Stars for putting this one up. You can take a look at it. There it is, folks. Alright, and it just says that there are... The Commonwealth moves... This is in the Walsh case. The Commonwealth moves pursuant to Mass Rule of Criminal Procedure 14.2G that dissemination of information related to a pending Division of Investigative Services investigation involving Massachusetts State Police troopers, plural, be restricted. And then on the second page, it says, the investigation is incomplete and no findings have been made yet. And they want it sealed. All right, so that's what happened there. Still nothing going on the Karen Reed case. I'm going to take a look at the chat, see if anyone has anything. Obviously, let's see. Only registered media is allowed to record. There is to be no live streaming of this hearing. Oh. Okay, so I think what... Whoa. So they're not going to let NBC Boston in? Wait, what? Alright, so here's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to let media in who are not live streaming to record it, and then we're going to be able to watch the hearing afterwards? Wow. Alright, that's a new one. So it looks like, and I think I have this right, it looks like what they're permitting... Yeah, Bossy Texas Chick, we can play trivia after this video because I need to eat lunch. But what it looks like is going to happen, all right? And I'm reading this closely. It looks like there's going to be recording of the hearing allowed, but no live streaming. So I don't know who is going to get this hearing up. I don't know how they're going to get this hearing up, all right? But let me see. I have an idea. All right, this is so what we need is someone in the Zoom who can report to us what's going on in the Zoom. Because I kind of want to see if they just I can't stop the stream, because then if they let NBC 10 in, we'll have missed it. But also, it would be really helpful if someone were in the Zoom. Let me see if I can, you know what, I have an idea. Hold on a second. Hold on. If there is a Zoom link for today's read Plymouth, I will not live stream the event. I tried to get a link to it. I think they're not going to let NBC 10 in. But listen, until someone says that this civil hearing is ongoing, I'm leaving this up. Okay? Until there is someone from another news outlet who said, unless there is someone from another news outlet who says to us, I'm in the Zoom, and it has started, but they are not letting us broadcast it live, then I'm going to keep this up. All right? I want to see if they do it, and I want to see what's going on. All right. Let me see what John Hall has to say. And you might be wondering, this is a very odd situation. Oh, it's Jay Hall, isn't it? This is a very odd situation. No, nothing. Really? I didn't have time. It was my last day of class, bossy Texas chick. I finished law school today. So I rushed home and I wanted to see this hearing. Now, all right. Okay, folks, NBC Boston 10 has said this. Today's hearing is being held virtually. The feed will turn on when the court starts the remote meeting. Okay, so that was the most recent update from NBC 10 in their own comments. So I think our best option is to just leave it go. I know you want to play trivia and do that, but we can't start trivia because what if the hearing just starts? I have nothing that tells me that we're not going to be able to watch it. In fact, NBC 10 seems to be indicating that they expect to be let in. And no guarantee about that, but we're going to sit here and watch. All right. So my name is Grant Smith Ellis. Thank you very much for being with me. We can't exactly turn to anything else because this could just start. All right. I can't even eat my lunch right now. I'm very hungry, but this could just start. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to sit here, going to monitor with you. If you see any reporters, folks, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, bossy Texas chick. I don't know the answer to that. If you see any reporters, though, we might have to put our towel powers to use. So if you see any reporters on Twitter saying, and I'm looking too, saying that the hearing has already started and we just can't see it, let me know. But I have no... Whoa, okay, so... Okay. They've set a max capacity of viewers on the Zoom. This is what I'm seeing. Okay, okay, so listen. Even members of the public, Adam Scott, for example, just posted, they are not in yet, okay? So members of the public nor the media, I have no reason to believe this has actually started, okay? So for those of you who are like, I don't want to deal with all of the procedural nonsense of figuring out what the hell is going on, well, you know what, folks? You're here with me. All right, I paused my camera so we have extra system resources, which will give us the ability to keep this smooth. If the stream starts, if that feed starts, we're going to get it the minute NBC Boston 10 Boston has it. Oh, thank you, bossy Texas chick. Now I just got to... I literally need just 5 minutes to put my wontons. I have buffalo chicken not buffalo, barbecue chicken. I didn't get the buffalo ones because that would hurt my belly. I have buffalo chicken wontons, which don't sound good, but they're actually flaky and delicious. And then I also have mozzarella sticks that I'm going to cook, and then I have curly fries. So I'm a very excitable little towel, and I can't even eat because I got to sit here and I got to make sure that this all goes smoothly. Now, as I mentioned, I'm monitoring a number of different Facebook pages. Not Facebook. X pages, and every time someone updates about what's going on, I'm relaying it to you. So as far as I understand, every single person, public or otherwise, that is trying to get into this meeting is seeing this exact same screen, okay? Whether you're on mobile, whether you're a member of the media, whether you're not. Now, as far as I understand, you can't... it might say that in the box that there's no live streaming, but you can call the PIO and get permission. Okay. And what happens is when the media wants permission to do something, what the PIO acts as like an intermediary. Like if the media is really mad about something, the PIO will normally go to the court, and really the court has a lot of discretion, but public access rules are really an interpretation of 119, and the court can just say no. But if the court says no and you piss off the whole media apparatus, kind of riles people up. Now, I'm not saying that what this box says is not true. There may be a clause here where the media is going to be allowed to record it and not live stream it. I've never heard of that. That would be extremely unusual. And as far as I'm aware, no one is actually in the active Zoom, whether they're media or otherwise. It has not started. I know Bossy Texas Chick says maybe since this is Plymouth, they're just not taking any of the FKR nonsense right out of the gate. No, the last one was just a normal hearing. I mean, regular courtroom access wasn't really an issue. This is a new judge, a new specially assigned judge, so that could be it. But yes, I can't switch away to anything. I can't take any other coverage. We have to just sit here and watch this because I don't know what's going to happen. All right, so let's go. I'm going to turn on some of the other channels and see what they're doing. All right, hold on. Oh, they didn't even take the feed. Let's figure out why Justice Served turned off.
But at least it's art. Somebody painted it. This is a rough.
Why'd they turn off?
I haven't quite figured that out yet. Yeah, Lisa Van Sykett, you're right. You're absolutely right. The more I talk about it, the more I agree that where did that go? There it is. Lobster roll sounds pretty good. I love a good lobster. Address? Is that a letter? Looks like a letter. As soon as this thing fires up, I'm going to go.
Oh, wow. Justice Served gave up. I'm not giving up. I'm sticking with NBC 10. If this hearing starts and they let us watch it, we're going to watch it. Not in the Zoom. From Law and Crime. Okay. All right. Here we go, folks. So now, Kathy Russin could just be repeating what is on the disclaimer, but Kathy, Girl with an Eagle Eye, lets us know that Kathy Russin, who's a very high-ranking producer at Law and Crime, excellent journalist, says today's Karen Reed hearing in the civil case is Zoom only and live streaming is not allowed. Law and Crime will upload the hearing later. All right, so we might have a round two here, folks. We might have a round two. There is no indication this hearing has actually started. There's got to be some like protracted negotiations going on with the media. Because I know Law and Crime thinks that, but the people there, like the Massachusetts media, they're not used to this. And they have ways of lobbying to get live stream permission. They can actually hold up the hearing because they're entitled to move for review, I'm pretty sure. It's a motion. You can do a formal motion for permission to record, which it can be denied, but if you deny the motion, you could then appeal. And you don't understand, a lot of these cases like Boston Globe, newspaper associations, via the trial court, all these cases come from times when judges tried to do this. There is some discretion to do it, but you can challenge it. It's an interlocutory order. If you put a formal motion as a media outlet under 119 Part A or B, and you get denied, that is an interlocutory order. I'm not a lawyer, but there could be some kind of a protracted debate going on. I'm not saying there is. The pool doesn't just roll over. It's a constant negotiation between the media and the court. I would be shocked if they actually go through with this, because you got to understand WBZ, NBC 10, WHDH, Channel 5, they will all go, WCVB, they will all, and NECN, they will all go together. They will have a meeting. Normally, that's the process. They will delegate a representative who will then go to the court and say, listen, the whole pool has talked. We don't like this. I'm not saying they're going to win, but there is a mechanism to challenge this. It's not just like the court says it, so that's the be-all, end-all. That's not how it works. However, if it is the case that the hearing is going to be recorded and uploaded, then what we will do is we'll get, I'm not just going to wing it. We'll get confirmation. If that is what's happening, I want to know someone's in the hearing and it started, but we can't broadcast it. No, oh goodness, Plymouth. My family lives down in the South Shore. Bossy, Texas chick. That would be about 60. No, it's 40 miles, but in rush hour traffic, it's probably like 2 to 3 hours to get to Plymouth from where I am, even though it's only 40 miles. I mean, because there's no way to get to Plymouth without either going 128 south to 24 to 195 or going Mass Pike inbound, like dealing with the connector traffic going 93 south past South Station. And then once you get on 93 south, just to go the freaking 7 miles to the Route 3 split, bro, it takes like 50 minutes. So it's a horror show. I wouldn't do Plymouth on a good day. You know what I'm saying? There's parts of the south coast of Massachusetts that are accessible. Plymouth is not one of them, not during rush hour, not from where I am. So yeah, no, Plymouth is not my style. Sorry about that. Okay, so what are we doing, though? What are we doing? Oh, yes, we're monitoring. Now, what I really could use, I know a lot of you are all like, what the hell is going on? This is a very unique situation. So we want to activate Team Towel here. I know Girl with an Eagle Eye is here. She is a girl. She has an eagle eye, and those two things both work very well for this situation. I guess really only the latter is operative here, the eagle eye. The point, nonetheless, remains the same. We're monitoring. We're being erudite little towels, and if you see someone say they are watching this hearing, but we don't have the live stream, then we'll know. Then we will wait. We'll have a Friday together. Maybe we will play some trivia. But what we will do is, maybe I should just put my food in the damn oven. All right, I'm going to play you a video. All right, that's what we're going to do. So let me minimize this. All right, de minimis in the Latin. I like Latin. And we're going to watch this video. All right, get caught up on the Turtle Boy case. We're going to do that. While we are getting caught up, I'm going to make some wontons. I'm really hungry. What do you want from me? I'm a hungry little towel. All right, hold on one second. Let me do this. All right, thank you very much. 1 second. Bear with me, little towels. All right, which one? I don't want that one, so let's change that to that. And then let's go over here. What do we got? Melanie's little... Olaf! Olaf, listen. Melanie Little and I have a tormented history, okay? But Melanie Little called Leah Genduso Leah Bathtub Genduso, and I think that's the funniest thing ever. Melanie Little gets a pass now, okay? Melanie Little and I can have a detente. I would be happy to have a diplomatic summit with Melanie Little, whereupon I will have a detente with her, okay? She's fine. Everything's fine. I have repeatedly apologized for the fact that Jason Broyles made people think that the Haley account targeting Lindsay was Melanie Little when it wasn't. And obviously Melanie Little did not go to Mexico with Alan Jackson, so mea culpa for that. And all in all, let's just not say things about like Melanie Little that are sexualized. Even if it were my worst enemy, like, I would really prefer we just not sexualize people. Like, people would, like, positively try to sexualize, like, me or other people they liked, and I'd be like, can we not do that? Like, can we just not do that? But, you know, to each their own. Well, and Olaf is also a fan of Russian metal, so maybe the language of Russian metal is just a little bit vulgar, you know, and I can't pass judgment like that. Who would I be as a little towel to pass judgment on Olaf for having his views? All right, here we go. Let me find a video for you all to watch. Let's watch the 20-minute version. This one deals with how Kate Peter is basically screwed. All right, so, hi, Irene. We're waiting to see if we're going to be able to watch the Karen Reed civil hearing. We're hearing rumors that we might have to get it recorded and then watch it on replay. It's all right. If we have to stay live and do that, we'll do that. But I have a plan. I'm a towel, and I have a plan. All right, here's my plan. We're going to watch this wonderful little video that I made so that I can go cook my wontons. All right, Bossy Texas Chickabella said I have a pass because today was my last day of law school, and so therefore I can go cook my wontons. All right, so you watch this. I'm going to bring my phone to the kitchen. And while I'm doing that, if the Karen Reed hearing starts, I'll run back upstairs. Okay? But for now, you all watch this. All right? Everybody be good little towels. This is an erudite, cogent little video, and I think you'll all enjoy it very much. And then if the Karen Reed hearing starts, we're going to do that. We also have people monitoring various sectors of the internet. And if we get updates on the hearing, they will tell you in the chat. All right? But Towel wants his wontons. Last day of school wontons. All right? Everybody's happy. I'm happy. You're happy. I'm a little towel. Right? Everybody being good little towels. Good job. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled for you all. All right, here we go. Begin. I'll be back in a minute. Bella's in charge.
I don't know. It's just weird. On September 12, 2024, I sent Misters Cosgrove, it's Messers, that's the plural of Misters, Cosgrove and Mello, a specific, that's a very outdated term, but it's cool to see it used, specific request for Brady material and discovery, footnote 3. A specific demand for exculpatory evidence triggers this is under the new Rule 14, triggers a prosecutor's obligation to investigate the defense allegation. Once information is determined to be exculpatory, it should be disclosed, period. And where a prosecutor is uncertain about whether information is exculpatory, the prosecutor should err on the side of caution and disclose it. Ms. Genduso was an MSP trooper who resigned in 2018. Oh, we're not at footnote 4 yet. All right, hold on. This detailed demand thoroughly described the evidence that proved the existence of a conspiracy, the object of which was to anoint Ms. Catani a witness against Mr. Kearney. Okay, well, I don't know about that, because, like, I think it's more like Karen told him not to go over there. I don't think Bettero fully sees it. I think he almost sees it. He's really starting to get it. He's just, what's the word for this? There's a word where there's a logical fallacy where you assume that because a group of people did something that everyone involved was doing it. I'm not remembering it right now, but he's missing the key part of it, which is that was a honeypot. Lindsay was an unwitting honeypot. So that's why Bettero's like, he's getting it. He's like 90% there, but he doesn't, in my opinion, see the full picture. He also, I don't know if he sees like everyone who was involved. I think he's close. We'll read a little more. Specifically, I quoted numerous text messages between Ms. Genduso and Ms. Catani, which we had been provided by the Commonwealth in the extraction from Ms. Catani's phone. Yeah, but that's subject to a protective order. The protective order has not lapsed. These text messages revealed that on December 11, 2023... Wait, what? I don't think you're allowed to do this. Oh, does he not disclose the content? Wait. That protective order from Judge Krupp has not lapsed. Why is this here? Why is this here? You're not referencing the content, but you're making reference to sum and substance of material subject to Judge Krupp's order. There's a procedure. I don't understand. All right, but let's get to the context, okay? And by the way, just because someone who is not subject to the protective order breaks the protective order doesn't mean you can break the protective order. The Commonwealth, that's my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a towel. These text messages revealed that on December 11, 2023, at 8:50, during a text exchange between Ms. Genduso and Ms. Catani about how to jail Mr. Kearney, Ms. Genduso excitedly texted Ms. Catani a media file. Then we learned Ms. Genduso was an MSP trooper who resigned in 2018 after Mr. Kearney reported that an internal affairs investigation revealed that she concealed from her employer her prior involvement with a drug-dealing criminal enterprise. Listen, Bettero, I get that she was moving weight, but still cannabis. I guess you could have called it, like, narcotics trafficking to really be a dick. I'm just picking apart Bettero's style. Word choice is very important in these kind of motions. Well, I hope so, Mo. Or I hope we get something set up for Towel within the next few months so I can get up on my feet. I have faith. All right, here we go. 22. Bettero says, I explain that the context of Ms. Genduso and Ms. Catani's messages immediately before and after Ms. Genduso sent the audio recording to Ms. Catani demonstrate that the media file appears to have played a significant role in Ms. Catani's effort to have Mr. Mello make her a witness against Mr. Kearney. I informed the prosecution that the Catani extraction report provided to the defense did not include a media file Leah Genduso sent Ms. Catani during a text message exchange a few weeks prior to Mr. Kearney's arrest. I notified Messrs. Cosgrove and Mello that the missing media file was relevant, discoverable, and almost certainly favorable to the defense. Well, that's true. Especially because it's posted on Lindsay's Twitter now, so it's pretty obvious that Bedro is right about this. I'm telling you, that Kate Peter Discord screwed up all these cases, and it's going to screw up the case against Karen, too. See Commonwealth v. McFarland, prosecutor must err on the side of caution and disclose where evidence may be favorable. On September 26, 2024, Mr. Cosgrove responded to my September 12, 2024 demand letter addressing the contents of Ms. Catani's extraction report generally. Mr. Cosgrove wrote that my September 12, 2024 specific demands were without merit and full of various speculation. On information and belief, at no time since September 12, 2024, has Mr. Cosgrove, Mr. Mello, Detective Lieutenant Tully, or any other agent of the Commonwealth sought to obtain the audio recording contained in the media file from Ms. Genduso or Ms. Catani. On November 13th, Ms. Catani confirmed for the defense that nobody from law enforcement has ever asked her for a copy of the Genduso media file or asked her if she maintains it. Very interesting. All right. All right. Wow. That's pretty intense. Let's see. Grant. Well, Peggy, I don't think it will happen immediately. Judge Krupp did not leave the case. Judge Krupp was a new judge was specially assigned. To this day, the Commonwealth has not provided the Genduso media file to the defense, has not explained what efforts, if any, it made to obtain the evidence from Ms. Genduso or Ms. Catani, and has not explained why they have failed to disclose clearly exculpatory and discoverable evidence in furtherance of its Brady and Rule 14 obligations. Mo, I need to spread my wings in time, if I'm capable. On November 9, 2025, in an ex-Twitter post, Ms. Catani accused Ms. Genduso of being a liar. She published a portion of their December 11, 2023 text message exchange, which evinced Ms. Genduso's animosity for Mr. Kearney. Disturbingly, the messages released by Ms. Catani also revealed that Ms. Genduso fantasized that while dressed as a ninja... Wait, what? What? Wait, what? 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 This paragraph reads, disturbingly, the messages released by Ms. Catani also revealed that Ms. Genduso fantasized that while dressed as a ninja, staked his house out in a creep van and smashed him in the head with a flashlight, dragged him into said creepy van, tied him up, and pistol whipped his nose so hard it shattered as he cried for his mama. What? What? She what? She wanted to dress as a ninja. So Leah Genduso wanted to dress as, or was fantasizing about dressing as a ninja, stalking Aiden's house in a creep van, smashing him in the head with a flashlight, dragging him into the van, tying him up, and then pistol whipping him on the nose. Okay. 31. Ms. Catani's November 9th post included a copy of the Genduso media file. Not surprisingly, its contents were exactly as I described on Information and Belief to Messrs. Cosgrove and Mello on September 12, 2024. In the recording, Ms. Genduso urges Ms. Catani to meet with Mr. Mello so she would attain the status of witness, which the former MSP trooper advised Ms. Catani would prevent Ms. Kearney from even speaking about her or mentioning her name. Ms. Genduso reasoned to Ms. Catani that, and let's read footnote 5. Perhaps nothing illustrates more the exculpatory nature and relevance of the undisclosed media file than Ms. Gendusso's unhinged dream of brutally assaulting a person for whom she has animosity. Clearly, the text demonstrates her obvious bias against Mr. Kearney. That's an element of calling her as a witness and then asking her about her bias. Moreover, this deranged message was included in the extraction report provided to the defense, which means that the Commonwealth knew that Ms. Gendusso and Ms. Catani had a strong motive to fabricate evidence rather than Mr. Kearney. Nevertheless, the Commonwealth shrugged its shoulders rather than make a good faith effort to comply with a specific demand under Brady and Rule 14. All right, Ms. Gendusso, reason to
to my brother counsel read from what looks like a scripted message that doesn't seem to deal with any issues because there's been no motion to compel that's been served on us relating to those answers. There's been nothing filed with the court. Instead, my brother counsel is reading from a script for what I'm guessing is some other purpose. And what we'd like to do is we'd like to just...
Attorney Waters, excuse me for interrupting, but maybe we'll take this as a 9C conference. You heard what he's looking for. What do you say to it?
Your Honor, actually, I don't know what he's talking about, to be candid. I think that Karen's statements have been consistent, and they're certainly consistent with the lawsuit that's been filed in Bristol County. So my brother counsel is going to have to be more specific about what he thinks is inconsistent. I don't think it is at all. And that's usually why motion practice is a good idea.
Attorney Diller, I guess we'll consider the 9C conference conducted and file whatever motion you want to file.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anyone what's the status of the discovery with CNC Hospitality and GNS? Attorney Diller, did you receive responses?
I did. Well, both parties had reached out to us over the history of this case. We may have propounded that discovery even before, while the criminal matter was going on, maybe around the time of the stay. But they then reached out to us at separate occasions and were very upfront about the fact that they're compiling discovery and needed more time. We allowed that additional time. Yesterday, we received some discovery, which I think I indicated to you I have not reviewed yet, but we have received discovery from both bars. One bar, and forgive me for not recognizing which one is which, one bar may have sent me some preliminary discovery a couple weeks ago and then supplemented it yesterday. The other bar sent me a batch of discovery yesterday, none of which have I had an opportunity at this stage to review.
Okay. Anyone else want to offer anything on behalf of any of the parties? Attorney Hassett on here for Waterfall.
Yes, Your Honor. Attorney Hassett for Waterfall.
Good afternoon. Do you want to offer anything?
Your Honor, I would just say that with respect to the discovery, we have in fact responded to the plaintiff's discovery after an extension was granted. We did the interrogatory answers. Those have been complete. The document responses were, as Attorney Diller indicated, in 2 stages. We completed that as well. We have yet to propound discovery ourselves at this point. Obviously, there's a history in this case that occurred through 2 criminal trials. It was our approach to see what documents were produced from the various keeper depositions and the other document requests among the parties. And then from there, after looking through the documents, make a decision as to what more pointed interrogatory answers we would propound. And as was indicated earlier, we've got a fairly lengthy discovery on a average tracking order. which permits discovery through next August. So in terms of our own discovery and our plan on propounding it, we were hopeful that we'd be able to wade through some of the voluminous documents first.
Who's here for McCarthy's? Is it Attorney Smith? Donovan, is Attorney Smith?
She is, yeah. Attorney Smith.
Yes, Your Honor, I have to unmute.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Attorney Tamara Smith for CF McCarthy's. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Yes, as has been stated, we did produce several hundred pages of documents yesterday, have responded fully to the plaintiff's answers, to the plaintiff's interrogatory requests. And like counsel for Waterfall, there's, as indicated in this call today, over 1 million or about 1 million pages and documents that are forthcoming. So the thought here would be to see what is there so that there's not duplication of effort and additional requests put out that are already answered by what is already forthcoming.
Okay. Anything else from Ms. Reed's side, Mr. Waters?
Nothing from our side, Your Honor. Thank you.
Attorney Diller, anything else from the plaintiffs?
No, I think that, but I do expect that we will convene a 9C amongst all the parties after this to discuss what efforts, if any, will be made to consolidate discovery on the other pending matter, only to ensure that we not worry about there being information that is discovered in the other case relevant to our case, which would prejudice us if we're not privy to.
Well, it's great you're trying to agree to something, but again, I think it's difficult to have an agreement without knowing who's going to be involved in the other case, who the attorneys are. Attorney Waters, what's the status of the notice to the governmental entities?
Yeah, you talking about the presentment letters, Your Honor?
Yes.
I think if they weren't sent yesterday, they'll be being sent today. And we've had conversations with both counsel for those entities about having a shortened presentment period. We expect agreement on that. I got my fingers crossed, but we expect agreement on that, in which case we won't be delayed in processing whatever procedural or motions that those parties want to make in that Bristol County case.
What's the status on the service on the individual defendants in the Bristol case?
The answer is I don't know, Your Honor. I haven't received information where we've gotten good service, and if we've not gotten it, I expect to get it shortly. My colleague Aaron Rosenberg can specify to that.
Your Honor, we've got counsel for, I believe, 2 of the individual defendants in the Bristol County case. One counsel has already agreed to accept service. The other counsel suggested that he will. We're just going back and forth, so we're hopeful we'll be able to get acceptance from the majority of those defendants and only have to serve a couple. So we don't foresee any delays on that front.
Attorney Diller, you talked about consolidation. Attorney Waters said they weren't going to move it this time. You, Attorney Diller, intend on moving to consolidate at this point?
We had discussed so the answer is yes, for purposes of discovery only, just to the extent that that works itself out. There was discussion during that entire motion practice that took place over the last 2 months. The counsel for these other parties had all reached out. So we have spoken with all of the counsel who were involved in the Bristol case because they were apparently going to be brought into this case. So there was that discussion. with them. So I do know who that counsel is. I have the briefing from those counsel. There was discussion within some of the briefing that it should be consolidated for purposes of discovery purposes. I don't know where things stand because it's now outside in the Bristol case, but I do expect that there's awareness of who all the lawyers are, and we could potentially discuss options. Obviously we had wanted this to all resolve itself months ago, and unfortunately it wasn't until Monday night that the defendants withdrew their motion and started on a different track with a different mindset. But we will happily be proactive in trying to get that moving in the best direction for our case in the wrongful death case.
How much time do you think that would take?
Well, what I don't know, Your Honor, is whether some of the parties are going to move to dismiss in the Bristol case and whether that will hold up the discovery there. That's the big unknown. So I wish I had that crystal ball, and I don't today, but I anticipate that there are some overlapping parties that may stay in the Bristol case, to which we'll need discovery there, and that discovery will overlap. I want to be clear that we're agreeing for discovery purposes to avoid prejudice. We are tabling whether or not these matters need to be tried together. That will only be known once we have full understanding of what comes out in discovery.
Okay. Well, let's pick a date in December so we can find out where the Bristol action is at and find out what other discovery issues remain so we can try and sort through those. Do you anticipate filing a motion to compel, Attorney Diller?
Yeah, the interrogatory answer, yes.
Okay, so let's pick a date for that. A date in December. When can you have the motion served?
We can start working on that right away. Within probably the Tuesday after Thanksgiving is what I believe we could shoot for.
Okay, that's December 2nd. Gives the defendant till December 12th. Let's pick a date the next week. We'll have a hearing on the motion to compel and a further status hearing. About December 18th. Is that an issue for anyone?
Your Honor, it is for me. I have a pre-existing hearing scheduled that day, but the 16th and the 17th, I'm open.
All right.
If I could,
16th or the 17th.
if I could have just a moment, Your Honor, to confer with my client. The 16th and 17th don't work for Ms. Reed. Either the 18th, I know that that's bad for Mr. Waters. The 19th would work.
19th works.
Attorney Jackson. Attorney Jackson, I can understand Ms. Reed wants to be there at every matter, but I don't necessarily think there are constitutional issues relative to the civil case.
I agree. I'm not suggesting that she has a constitutional right to be there, but I know that she wishes to participate in her own defense, and she would like to be there if we can accommodate her schedule.
Right, but if the court starts having to accommodate every party's schedule, it would grind the courts to a halt.
I understand. I get that. There's only one defendant, though. So, for what that's worth.
There are other defendants in this case.
Your Honor, for what it's worth, I can also do December 19th.
Will it be remote, Your Honor, by Zoom? I have things that week, but if it's going to be remote by Zoom, then I can try to I can definitely be available and then not worry about moving things around on the week of the 15th.
We have that day. 19th. Hang on 1 second. I have to have the clerk check something.
Yes, Your Honor?
No, I'm checking the schedule here, Clerk Donovan.
Schedule there, okay.
We keep it Friday, we just have, basically the morning, Your Honor. Afternoon's wide open.
Okay. How about 2 o'clock on December 19th? We'll schedule it virtually for now.
Thank you.
That works, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Appreciate it.
Okay. All right, we'll see everyone then. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so just for the record, this matter is continued to December 19th, 2025 at 2 p.m. for the motion to compel and further status, and this hearing will be held by Zoom at this point in time. Thank you all.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good day.
All right, folks. I was watching the hearing in the background. My name is Grant Smith Ellis. And we are done with that hearing. All right, so thank you very much for watching. Clearly, Judge was not going to have very much tomfoolery. Not much happened at that hearing. We did learn that there's going to be a motion to compel. I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. But what that means is that Karen's lawyers are going, or excuse me, the O'Keefe family lawyer, I think is Diller, is going to move to compel responses. They're called interrogatories from Karen that they didn't get in the original response from Karen. So, and we don't know exactly what we missed in the beginning, if we missed anything or if it started up right away. But we will absolutely keep an eye on this. So the next hearing, if you missed it, December 19th in the civil case, 2 p.m., virtual only, okay? And we did get to watch the Karen Reed civil case. It was quick, folks. If you missed it, it was no more than 10 minutes, all right? You could literally rewatch the whole hearing right now if you wanted to, all right? So we can rewatch it again if you missed it. If you just tuned in, we'll see exactly when it started, okay? We're going to rewatch the whole hearing right now. My name is Grant Smith Ellis, and I'm going to eat my lunch. So this is the very moment it started.
Make this allegation, and they think that there's this Bristol County action. I don't want to be prejudiced when we start taking depositions in this case, not knowing what information that they have already assembled when it's time for us to be able to inquire.
Your Honor, let me just quickly respond to that. First of all, I'm a little concerned by listening to my brother counsel read from what looks like a scripted message that doesn't seem to deal with any issues because there's been no motion to compel that's been served on us relating to those answers. There's been nothing filed with the court. Instead, my brother counsel is reading from a script for what I'm guessing is some other purpose. And what we'd like to do is we'd like to just...
Attorney Waters, excuse me for interrupting, but maybe we'll take this as a 9C conference. You heard what he's looking for. What do you say to it?
Your Honor, actually, I don't know what he's talking about, to be candid. I think that Karen's statements have been consistent, and they're certainly consistent with the lawsuit that's been filed in Bristol County. So my brother counsel is going to have to be more specific about what he thinks is inconsistent. I don't think it is at all. And that's usually why motion practice is a good idea.
Attorney Diller, I guess we'll consider the 9C conference conducted and file whatever motion you want to file.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Anyone from, what's the status of the discovery with CNC Hospitality and GNS? Attorney Diller, did you receive responses?
I did. Well, both parties had reached out to us over the history of this case. We may have propounded that discovery even before, while the criminal matter was going on, maybe around the time of the stay. But they then reached out to us at separate occasions and were very upfront about the fact that they're compiling discovery and needed more time. We allowed that additional time. Yesterday, we received some discovery, which I think I indicated to you I have not reviewed yet, but we have received discovery from both bars. One bar, and forgive me for not recognizing which one is which, one bar may have sent me some preliminary discovery a couple weeks ago and then supplemented it yesterday. The other bar sent me a batch of discovery yesterday, none of which have I had an opportunity at this stage to review.
Okay. Anyone else want to offer anything on behalf of any of the parties? Attorney Hassett on here for Waterfall.
Yes, Your Honor. Attorney Hassett for Waterfall.
Afternoon. Do you want to offer anything?
Your Honor, I would just say that with respect to the discovery, we have in fact responded to the plaintiff's discovery after an extension was granted. We did the interrogatory answers. Those have been complete. The document responses were, as Attorney Diller indicated, in 2 stages. We completed that as well. We have yet to propound discovery ourselves at this point. Obviously, there's a history in this case that occurred on through 2 criminal trials. It was our approach to see what documents were produced from the various keeper depositions and the other document requests among the parties. And then from there, after looking through the documents, make a decision as to what more pointed interrogatory answers we would propound. And as was indicated earlier, we've got a fairly lengthy discovery on a average tracking order, which permits discovery through next August. So in terms of our own discovery and our plan on propounding it, we were hopeful that we'd be able to wade through some of the voluminous documents first.
Who's here for McCarthy's? Is it Attorney Smith? Donovan, is Attorney Smith?
She is, yeah. Attorney Smith.
Yes, Your Honor, I asked her to unmute.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Attorney Tamara Smith for CF McCarthy's. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Yes, as has been stated, we did produce several hundred pages of documents yesterday, have responded fully to the plaintiff's answers, to the plaintiff's interrogatory requests. And like counsel for Waterfall, there's, as indicated in this call today, over 1 million or about 1 million pages and documents that are forthcoming. So the thought here would be to see what is there so that there's not duplication of effort and additional requests put out that are already answered by what is already forthcoming.
Okay. Anything else from Ms. Reed's side, Mr. Waters?
Nothing from our side, Your Honor. Thank you.
Attorney Diller, anything else from the plaintiffs?
No, I think that, but I do expect that we will convene a 9C amongst all the parties after this to discuss what efforts, if any, will be made to consolidate discovery on the other pending matter, only to ensure that we not worry about there being information that is discovered in the other case relevant to our case, which would prejudice us if we're not privy to.
Well, it's great you're trying to agree to something, but again, I think it's difficult to have an agreement without knowing who's going to be involved in the other case, who the attorneys are. Attorney Waters, what's the status of the notice to the governmental entities.
Yeah, you talking about the presentment letters, Your Honor?
Yes.
I think if they weren't sent yesterday, they'll be being sent today. And we've had conversations with both counsel for those entities about having a shortened presentment period. We expect agreement on that. I got my fingers crossed, but we expect agreement on that, in which case we won't be delayed in processing whatever procedural or motions that those parties want to make in that Bristol County case.
What's the status on the service on the individual defendants in the Bristol case?
The answer is I don't know, Your Honor. I haven't received information where we've gotten good service, and if we've not gotten it, I expect to get it shortly. My colleague Aaron Rosenberg can specify to that.
Your Honor, we've got counsel for, I believe, two of the individual defendants in the Bristol County case. One counsel has already agreed to accept service. The other counsel suggested that he will. We're just going back and forth, so we're hopeful we'll be able to get acceptance from the majority of those defendants and only have to serve a couple. So we don't foresee any delays on that front.
Attorney Diller, you talked about consolidation. Attorney Waters said they weren't going to move it this time. You, Attorney Diller, intend on moving to consolidate at this point?
We had discussed so the answer is yes, for purposes of discovery only, just to the extent that that works itself out. There was discussion during that entire motion practice that took place over the last 2 months. The counsel for these other parties had all reached out. So we have spoken with all of the counsel who were involved in the Bristol case because they were apparently going to be brought into this case. So there was that discussion with them. So I do know who that counsel is. I have the briefing from those counsel. There was discussion within some of the briefing that it should be consolidated for purposes of discovery purposes. I don't know where things stand because it's now outside in the Bristol case, but I do expect that there's awareness of who all the lawyers are, and we could potentially discuss options. Obviously we had wanted this to all resolve itself months ago, and unfortunately it wasn't until Monday night that the defendants withdrew their motion and started on a different track with a different mindset. But we will happily be proactive in trying to get that moving in the best direction for our case in the wrongful death case.
How much time do you think that would take?
Well, what I don't know, Your Honor, is whether some of the parties are going to move to dismiss in the Bristol case and whether that will hold up the discovery there. That's the big unknown. So I wish I had that crystal ball, and I don't today, but I anticipate that there are some overlapping parties that may stay in the Bristol case, to which we'll need discovery there, and that discovery will overlap. I want to be clear that we're agreeing for discovery purposes to avoid prejudice. We are tabling whether or not these matters need to be tried together. That will only be known once we have full understanding of what comes out in discovery.
Okay. Well, let's pick a date in December so we can find out where the Bristol action is at and find out what other discovery issues remain so we can try and sort through those. Do you anticipate filing a motion to compel, Attorney Diller?
Yeah, the interrogatory answer, yes.
Okay, so let's pick a date for that. A date in December. When can you have the motion served?
We can start working on that right away. Within probably the Tuesday after Thanksgiving is is what I believe we could shoot for.
Okay, that's December 2nd. Gives the defendant till December 12th. Let's pick a date the next week. We'll have a hearing on the motion to compel and a further status hearing. How about December 18th? An issue for anyone?
Your Honor, it is for me. I have a pre-existing hearing scheduled that day, but the 16th and the 17th, I'm open.
All right. How
If
about
I
the
could-
16th or the 17th?
If I could have just a moment, Your Honor, to confer with my client. The 16th and 17th don't work for Ms. Reed. Either the 18th, I know that that's bad for Mr. Waters. The 19th would work.
19th works.
Attorney Jackson. Attorney Jackson, I can understand Ms. Reed wants to be there at every matter, but I don't necessarily think there are constitutional issues relative to the civil case.
I agree. I'm not suggesting that she has a constitutional right to be there, but I know that she wishes to participate in her own defense, and she would like to be there if we can accommodate her schedule.
Right, but if the court starts having to accommodate every party's schedule, it would grind the courts to a halt.
I understand. I get that. There's only one defendant, though. So, for what that's worth.
There are other defendants in this case.
Your Honor, for what it's worth, I can also do December 19th.
Will it be remote, Your Honor, by Zoom? I have things that week, but if it's going to be remote by Zoom, then I can try to, I can definitely be available and then not worry about moving things around on the week of the 15th.
We have that day. 19th. Hang on 1 second. I have to have the clerk check something.
Yes, Your Honor?
No, I'm checking the schedule here, Clerk Donovan.
Schedule there, okay.
18th is Friday, we just have, basically the morning, Your Honor. Afternoon's wide open.
Okay. How about 2 o'clock on December 19th? We'll schedule it virtually for now.
Thank you.
That works, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right, we'll see everyone then. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so just for the record, this matter is continued to December 19th, 2025 at 2 p.m. for the motion to compel and further status, and this hearing will be held by Zoom at this point in time. Thank you all.
Thank you. Take care. Have a good day.
All right, folks, my name is Grant Smith Ellis. It's so good to see so many Tau friends tuning in. It was a quick hearing. You got to see the replay. Thanks very much. So if you missed it, here's what happened in today's John O'Keefe and Karen Reed civil trial. They're talking about something called combining the cases. Let's just use easy language, okay? So Karen's lawsuit she filed against the McCabes, the Alberts, Brian Tully, Michael Proctor, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Combining that for at least discovery purposes with the Plymouth case, all right? That's on the table. But in order to get there, they have to find out if anyone's going to file a motion to dismiss under 12b6 in the Bristol case, because that would delay discovery if the case is joined, because 12b6 motions to dismiss pause discovery deadlines. Now, a number of other things, I'm not a lawyer, this is not legal advice, a number of other things were quickly talked about there. One of them was there were interrogatories that the O'Keefe family sent to one of the defendants, that I would guess it was Reed, that they didn't think were sufficient. So they're filing what's called a motion to compel responses, which will bring it in front of the judge, and the judge will then determine whether the responses need to be more fleshed out from Reed. I think that was what Diller was talking about. Okay, and then the other thing was they were talking about presentment letters. Karen announced she's going to sue the Canton Police and the Mass State Police. So they were saying we're negotiating with counsel for them to have a shortened presentment period for the purposes of facilitating more rapid discovery. You have to file a presentment letter barring extraordinary circumstances or ongoing harm, I'm not a lawyer, this is not legal advice, in order to sue a governmental entity. So that's what they were talking about there. So we'll find out more about that soon. And then the motion to compel is due like the 11th or the 12th from the O'Keefe family. And then that hearing is the 19th or virtually 2 p.m. So all these issues are kind of intermeshing. Civil cases are complicated. Kathy McCarthy, so she didn't actually move to add parties. She filed an independent lawsuit in Bristol County, and now they're talking about whether they're going to consolidate those two cases. Right now they have an agreement to consolidate in principle for discovery purposes, but they tabled the issue of whether these two cases should be consolidated at trial on the merits, pending discovery. So that's what's going on there. But yes, if you missed it, Towell finished his law school classes today. Thank you so much for being with me as that happened. That was the best wrap-up I could do of that quick 15-minute Karen Reed, John O'Keefe civil hearing. So if you wanted to get caught up on that, that was the greatest time to tune in. My name's Grant Smith-Ellis. This is a public information service. And as I just said, today's a special day. It was my final class in law school. I made it, Little Towels. I made it to the end. Got to do my final now in a few weeks, but I made it to the end of classes. I did it. We're going to get this bill paid. We're going to figure it out. I'm not going to give up, Little Towels. I'm so grateful that I got to spend this time with you today. And I'll tell you, the last thing I got as we left class, the Constitution. I got a copy of the Constitution. What a great way to end one's law school career with a pocket copy of the Constitution. You know, one time I was in class, I think it was 2L or something, and one of the judges or something from the Supreme Court was there or something, one of the former judges, and I'll never forget, he's lecturing and he looks over and he asks us a question about the federal rules of civil procedure. I pull out a pocket-sized copy of the federal rules of civil procedure and I answer the question, and he looks at the class and he's like, do all of you just carry around pocket copies of the federal rules of civil procedure or just him? And they were all like, just him. Oh, goodness. But I had a great law school experience. I'm so grateful that I got to spend this time with you today. I feel bad, those of you who are tuning in. If you missed the hearing, you can watch the DVR. I just gave the recap. It was only a 15-minute hearing. There's lots of things going on. We're going to do another stream tomorrow. I'll talk to you about some of the goings-on. But let's keep an eye on that Aidan Kearney docket. Let me go look to see if Robert Cosgrove filed anything. Apparently, Kate Peter is just losing her ever-loving mind, by the way. So I guess I'll talk for a few minutes about that. One, Kate Peter was wrong today. She put out blatantly wrong information. This hearing was obviously streamed. Okay, I don't know why Kate Peter did that. I find it very unbecoming. So I'm going to do two things. One, I'm going to check the indictment list. Nope, nothing came in. And then I'm going to check the Kearney docket. All right, and I'll let you know if Cosgrove filed anything based on that. And then I'm going to go pontificate for a little bit about how Kate Peter was single-handedly responsible for sabotaging Lindsay Gattani's second fundraiser. And as a result, she is clearly on tilt because of all this information coming out about Kate's ex parte contact with the Norfolk DA's office, which puts Kate's felony cases in jeopardy because the Norfolk DA was trying to tell a judge in Dedham District Court. By the way, the next hearing on that case is November 25th. But the judge in Dedham District Court was trying to tell the Norfolk DA was trying to tell a judge in Dedham District Court that Kate Peter doesn't have any conflicts with the Norfolk DA. Nonsense. She has a litany of ex parte contacts dating back years, and now the evidence is starting to come out. So what did Kate Peter do in response? She started going at Lindsay Gattani because I think Lindsay's the one who has the proof of a lot of Kate's misconduct. And one of the smears that Kate did today, I just want to bring up here and I want to talk about because I think it's egregious, all right? I think it's absolutely egregious. All right, Kate was going around falsely stating that Lindsay did not use her donations for the stated purpose. That's wrong. Okay, that is just wrong. And then the other thing that I want to talk about is how Kate Peter ordered Michael Gaffney to sabotage Lindsay Gattani's second fundraiser. Okay, I have the proof, ladies and gentlemen. I have the proof. You want to see it? You want to see it? I'm going to bring it up on your screen. Ready for this? Look at the proof. Look at the proof. Let's talk Kate Peter. All right? Let's talk Kate Peter. Let's look at the proof. All right? I have a whole image here. All right? Double towel. All right? I have a whole image here. All right? Got to make sure we can see it all. Okay? All right. There we go. All right. Is that? No, I think there's even more on the other side. And we're going to zoom in. By the way, I want some of you, as we talk about this, to focus because you're going to see a side of Kate Peter that you didn't know existed. All right, so this is a series of messages, okay? And this series of messages proves that it actually ends up proving something pretty serious about Gaffney at the end, but it proves that Kate Peter, with no information to the contrary, ordered Michael Gaffney to pull a donation he had given to Lindsay's fundraiser. And Gaffney did so by claiming that that donation was to a fundraiser that was unauthorized. What did it come out very quickly within hours of Lindsay launching that fundraiser? It was completely authorized, and Gaffney's justification for pulling the donation had nothing to do with the comment that he tried to leave, which, by the way, I did not remove. Okay? I had nothing to do with it getting removed. Instead, it had to do with Kate Peter ordering, that is Kate Peter's Twitter account right there in the middle, ordering Gaffney to pull that $2,000 donation to sabotage Lindsay's second fundraiser. Now, with the first fundraiser that Lindsay did for some of her legal expenses, that went to a lawyer who was paid in full, and then the remainder went back to Lindsay, which then was paid for a second lawyer later on because of the Rule 17 process. The point is, when Lindsay raised $8,000 with a fundraiser Kate was involved in a few months ago or a year ago, so roughly, Kate actually raised $16,000. Do you understand that, folks? Kate raised the initial $8,000, claimed there was some issue with the GoFundMe or the Give, Send, Go paying out the money, then proceeded to get this prosecutor from the Midwest who tried to call me and yell at me, and I was like, you're barking up the wrong tree, bro. Like, you're barking up the wrong tree. I asked him if he was a fact witness. To pay $8,000 because Kate claimed the Give, Send, Go wouldn't pay out. Do you realize that means that if Kate never paid that guy back, and we have no confirmation that Kate ever paid that guy back, she raised $8,000 for Lindsay and then raised another $8,000 that Kate took for herself. Do you know how disgusting that is? Do you realize how messed up in the head you have to be to do that? Not to mention all the times Kate Peter claimed to take donations for Lindsay on her streams and never once paid them out, ever. Disgusting. Disgusting. Every single one of you who sent donations on these streams, that money went to Lindsay's third-party payee. Kate Peter, not a single piece of evidence indicating she forwarded those donations. And Elisa, how about you? You ever do any streams where you took donations for Lindsay? Show the records of you sending them to her third-party payee. They don't exist. You didn't do it. Shameful. And then to see Kate Peter conspiring with Michael Gaffney, whereupon Michael Gaffney attempted to pull his donation by telling Give, Send, Go the fundraiser wasn't authorized when it was, is right in front of you. Right in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. Bossy Texas Chick, one was for an RO hearing that Lindsay and Turtle Boy were involved in. The other was for a Rule 17 hearing. And then the other was for two other ongoing situations. So Lindsay, through various steps of this process, needed help. And the really frustrating thing is, when Kate was involved with the fundraiser, she was being all shady. When she wasn't involved with the second fundraiser, when it was run independently, not by me, by the way, the third-party payee and Lindsay's the person who was initially running it was Julie. The point is, Kate Peter, when she had no involvement in it, sabotaged it. There's the proof, right there, laid out in black and white. And by the way, the people who defend Mike Gaffney, look at that comment in the bottom right. Grant would blanks blank out of Lindsay's blank. Those are Kate Peter's friends, folks. All right? That's what we're dealing with here. And that's why she's in an apocalyptic meltdown, because she did a lot of bad things. There's evidence of it. Now she's resorting to smearing Lindsay conveniently to try to make people not listen to what Lindsay has to say. What does that tell you? Anyone Kate Peter tells you not to listen to, you might want to listen to. All right? A little bit of a tactic there, okay? If Kate Peter's trying to discredit someone, they probably have information that's very damning to her, and Kate Peter's willing to use smears, subversive tactics, or otherwise in order to undermine people she views as a threat to her position of soft power, okay? It's disgusting. It's abhorrent. And there's the proof, and I want to pontificate about it. I like them apples, all right? See what I'm saying? It was run amok there. It was run amok. And yes, I do agree that Lindsay was an unwitting honeypot. I agree that when she was no longer useful to Kate Peter and Brian Tully and others, that Brian Tully released Lindsay's phone extraction in April of 2024, exactly when the first Karen Reed trial was starting, with only messages from Tully to Lindsay and from Kate to Lindsay removed, along with a recording of Leah Genduso removed. Ladies and gentlemen, that was to, in my opinion, deflect public attention from Kate Peter and Brian Tully's friend, Jen McCabe. Disgusting. Just abhorrent. And look how Lindsay was treated by Kate and Mike Gaffney. These are the pieces of evidence. And you know who helped them? Kim Fair. She's no innocent little dove. No chance. She's Kate Peter's little lackey, in my opinion. Kim Fair was the one trying to get Barry Lewis, that weird guy with a rap sheet a mile long, apparently, to run the fundraiser for Lindsay. Kim Fair was going around saying to people, oh, Lindsay's new fundraiser with Julie can't be real. Nonsense, Kim Fair. And when Kim Fair got the evidence that the fundraiser was real, Gaffney still pulled their donation and apparently told his credit card company the fundraiser was unauthorized. Yikes. That doesn't sound right. Especially if Gaffney knew prior to calling the credit card company, maybe it's in writing, that the fundraiser was authorized. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Yeah, and if you notice, like, Gaffney had a history with Aiden where I think, like, Gaffney suggested he open a company, so clearly they worked together at a falling out or something. Kate worked with Aiden, they had a falling out. All these people just had a very long grudge against Aiden Kearney, and they used the John O'Keefe case as cover to take it out. Okay? Notwithstanding whatever Aiden was doing, that's what was motivating these people. And the worst part is Tully and his unit and Morrissey enabled them. Like, how desperate do you have to be, bro, to resort to Kate Peter? I mean, look at these screenshots. Like, this screenshot alone tells such a vicious story of such a blackened soul, you know? I don't know if, like, the O'Keefes felt that was their only option. I don't know if Jen McCabe was telling the O'Keefes to go with Kate. I don't know. I'm somewhat convinced Jen McCabe and Kate Peter, like, worship at the altar of some kind of, like, odd, like, pagan or, like, Wiccan. Or, I don't know what the hell these people are into, but I don't really trust that they're Catholics. Kate told me religion is BS to my face. And I looked at her like, why would you ever say that to a religious person? But anyway, maybe they're like pagans, maybe they're Wiccans, maybe they're Luciferians. I don't know. I'm not an expert in that stuff. I don't believe in all that crazy devil worshipping. But there's something about their souls that just ain't right, bruh. It's like they go have like little seances. No, I'm not saying you can't have seances. I'm just telling you, I have this very distinct mental image of Kate Peter and Jen McCabe doing seances with voodoo dolls, all right? And Jen McCabe definitely has voodoo dolls of people. I'm sure she has one of me. That's a little weird, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, having voodoo dolls of people is not normal. Doing this stuff to Lindsay maliciously and Kate Peter putting herself out there as some kind of advocate for victims is not normal. You know, and the crazy thing is, Kate's kind of enabled by this circle, like Jen Coffin-Daffer, Kevin Linehan, some of these other people, where they'll just be like, oh, well, she agrees with me on the John O'Keefe case. See no evil, hear no evil. Excuse me? Excuse me? See no evil, hear no evil? That's how this justice system got to the place that it's in to begin with. All right? How about some of these people stand up and hold Kate accountable and stop enabling her? It's sick. It's disgusting. I know a lot of them know the details, too, because I told them. No plausible deniability there. Shocks the conscience. Shocks the conscience. Hi, Nanya. You are here just in time for me to rant about Kate Peter and how she intentionally sabotaged Lindsay's second fundraiser because she wasn't in control of it. And as a result, it might have been the third, but second or third fundraiser, the one that Kate had no involvement in. Now she's spreading lies about it because she is subversive. And I had the proof. I had the proof, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, no, bossy Texas chick, I don't think that's it at all. I think that Kate Peter and Brian Tully and the rest of that unit engaged in prosecutorial misconduct, and they compromised the cases, and now they're stuck. Procedural due process matters, notwithstanding someone's guilt or innocence. You can't break the rules. president's wife must be above reproach. Bella knows that. Isn't that right, Bella? Yeah, well, maybe that goes both ways, Bukhenik. Aren't I right about that? I think we're seeing a lot more congenial discussion. Notice the only people being cruel right now are Kate Peter and her people. What does that tell you? The Free Karen Reed people aren't being cruel. The Turtle Boy people aren't really being cruel right now. Who's being cruel? Kate Peter and her minions. I think she's the one that's been talking to Towel Mom. I think a lot of this really dangerous, subversive, painful, tormenting behavior is a result of Kate Peter. Kate Peter, more so than anything else, drove the toxic culture around these cases. For her own ends, too. I think it was to get in Netflix and all this other stuff, to try to give a drama to it. Nonsense. She created artificial chaos and then pretended to solve it. She created toxicity against her enemies who she would pretend to their face she liked. She's the biggest problem in all of this. May this story be told from the perspective of the damage that Brian Tully, Kate Peter, and Michael Proctor and others did to the justice system in Norfolk County. That's why Adam Deutsch is going to win. Bro, he's going to blow everyone else out of the water. Morrissey's not even going to run. And then all these people are going to be fucked because they live in Norfolk County, and now Adam Deutsch is going to be able to criminally charge them on the local level. Do you see where this is going? Kate Peter, Michael Morrissey, Jen McCabe, all these people live in Norfolk County. Michael Morrissey is not running for re-election. Everyone understand? Yeah, I've never said, listen, the Turtle Riders and the Free Karen Reed people, even when I was vociferously anti-Turtle Boy and Karen Reed, in every regard, were still very nice to me. That's how I knew that it was really Kate Peter causing most of the toxicity in her Discord cult. I knew it. Because the Turtle Riders and Free Karen Reed people, when the cameras were off, were too kind. All right? I'm sorry, they were too compassionate. Yeah, no, exactly. Adam Deutsch, and you got to imagine Adam Deutsch's primary goal in running is not just to reform Norfolk County, it's to break up this influence peddling. And Kate Peter, who's the person that stands the most to lose if Michael Morrissey announces he's not running for re-election? Kate Peter's facing an open felony case in that jurisdiction. There was a lot of inside baseball, bro, involving her and that unit. That whole unit's going to get fired. They're already pretty much gone. We know there's new IA investigations open right now. There is something to this, folks. There's something to it. Kate's melting down for a reason. She's resorting to these very vacuous tactics for a reason. Everything is about to come crashing down. If you think about it, listen, I don't think either Kate Peter's open felony case or whatever, it's a rush against the clock for these people. Because if Michael Morrissey's out of power, they have no one to defend them. There's no one that will protect them. No more nonsensical motions. No more delay tactics. It's going to be cataclysmic. Okay? Absolutely cataclysmic. Yeah, and listen, I always felt that, like, Kate was being gratuitously toxic just to try to create drama for attention and fodder for content. I hated it. I hated that toxicity. I fell victim to it at some points, too, and then I realized, wait a minute, why am I doing this? Like, just because Kate Peter is engaging in, like, really vitriolic behavior, I should just do it? No. Then I started being nice. Then I started taking shit from her people. I was in no man's land. I didn't care because I truly believed in what I was doing, and I still do. That's why this requires no effort from me because I'm being completely authentic. I have a very good memory, and I'm being completely authentic. All right? Now, all these people got to, like, scheme and plot and keep track and have charts and Excel sheets. No disrespect to Meredith, whose mind works like an Excel spreadsheet. The point is, look at all these people. Orbit of that Marty Kraft PI firm, etc., etc. Folks, come on now. Come on. It's all starting to be very obvious. People were gaming the system, and now the rats are fleeing a sinking ship, and Towel's watching them jump. I have always said that I don't think Karen Reed hit John O'Keefe with her car intentionally. Maybe she backed up in anger, but I've never felt she hit him intentionally. So therefore, I think she was overcharged. I'm probably one of the only people that will say this, but she killed a cop, all right? So they overcharged her, and they paid for it, all right? They overcharged her, and they paid for it. As the foreperson said, you charge her with manslaughter, she gets convicted. They wanted to bind her over. She killed a cop. All right. No, yeah, Kathy McCarthy. I think AJ just isn't a well-seasoned civil litigator. He didn't remember there were other defendants. All right. I've been yelling a lot. That was good. I appreciate that. I don't want to get into a debate about the merits of any cases. Towel is in a celebratory mood. I finished my law school classes. I promised you all I would come back tomorrow. We will talk more about all of what's been going on. We'll have time to watch some videos, really get caught up on this. I think there's something here, all right? The reason Kate Peters on tilt, the reason there's the announcement of multiple IA investigations open right now involving the state police. Something's coming, folks, all right? But anyway, it's Friday. God bless you. Go be with your family. Go be with your friends. Go be with your Super Towel cats. Whatever it is that brings you solace and happiness, that's what I'm going to do. All right? I could stay on and keep talking. I appreciate so many of you watching, but we'll come back tomorrow. If you want to hear before college football really kicks off tomorrow, we'll talk in the morning. We'll watch some videos. We'll talk about some documents. We'll play trivia, I promise. If I commit to it, I mean it. So Bossy Texas Chicken Bella, tell Allie and Rue. Trivia tomorrow, at least 3 rounds, maybe up to 10 rounds if I'm in the mood. All right? So congratulations to Towel. I hate to congratulate myself, but even David Yannetti gave me a congratulations. Bossy Texas Chick's going to lose her ever-loving mind. But yes, David Yannetti congratulated Towel for finishing law school. I have the proof. Here it is. Here is the proof. Let me show you the proof. Where is it? There it is, ladies and gentlemen. David Yannetti himself congratulated little Towel for finishing law school. It is a proud moment in my career. It is a proud moment. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Towel has finished law school. So there you go. There's a proud Towel to take it home. Look at me. Proud, smiling little Towel. All right. God bless all of you. Let's end it the traditional way. If you are just tuning in, this is public information service. The goal is to educate, inform, and entertain the wider public, such as to engender, coach, and public discourse, and ward off the usurpation of our representative forms of government worldwide. Thank you, Nunya. It was great to see you, my friend. Thank you, Bunny. Oh, my goodness, it's Bunny. 1 second. Pete Bunny Towel. Bunny's back. Oh, Pete Bunny Towel is here to see you, Bunny. He is so excited. He saw your name pop up. He ran right over, and he was like, oh, my goodness, it's Bunny Towel. He's a Pete Bunny. You're a bunny. There you go. Oh, he is so thrilled. He is just hippity-hoppitying all around. He's going to burn a hole in the floor. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. If you want to support this service, there's a few ways to do so. Actually, let me drop my donation info in the chat. If you want to bless Towel, this is probably the time to do it. I got a little bit in today, but like things are just shitty right now. Like I hate to feel like I'm defined by money, and like I feel bad I couldn't help my mom as much as I wanted to. But you know what? I did my very best. I got through school. I almost ran out of money like 17 times, but for the kindness of so many people on all sides of this case, so many of my classmates, my friends, my editor, my family, I would not have made it. All right? I got to take the final and get there, but it's because of so many of you that I made it. There were moments where people were like, I'm not going to let you fail, little Towel. I'm not going to let you not make it. And I did it. I made it through the last class, and now I just have to take the final. Yes, Pete Bunny Towel is here with me. He wants me to get him a cheeseburger so he can eat the lettuce. I already ate some mozzarella sticks, but I think I can do a cheeseburger in celebration today. Bunny says she misses you very much. Peep says he'd love to see you more often. We're going to play some trivia tomorrow. You come on by. He will rant about the communists. Maybe we can watch some Sherlock Holmes. It depends. But yes, so if you want to support this service, there's a Venmo at GrantE1. You'll hyphen E1. You'll notice it's me. There's a picture of Elmo. I have that there so that people will ask me who that is. My friend who was a veteran passed away. His nickname was Elmo. So then when they ask me about the Elmo statue, I could say it's Elmo. It's actually an inflatable Elmo. It doesn't matter. I was going to send it to him as a picture, and then he passed away before I got to do it. So God bless him. If you want the Cash App, money sign Grant Smith Ellis. If you want the PayPal, paypal.me/Grant Ellis. Yeah, bring me some peace of mind, helps out with the streaming costs. Like, I do this at a loss. People are like, Grant, why do you always need help? Well, because there's no sponsors, there's no ads. I do this at a loss because I want to help people. So the people who can help me, great. But if you can't help, don't worry about it. Just the fact that you're learning makes my day brighter. So that means something to me as well. Okay, next thing I want to talk about. Thank you to Bunny for being here, and Nunya, and Bossy Texas Chick, and Troy, and Joey Potts. It was great to see you. Bukhenik, Kathy McCarthy, Troy. It was great to see you, my friend. Oh, goodness, you all were chatting up a storm. Nancy, my friend, it was so good to see you. Irene, the official Portuguese MILF. Great to see both of you. Stephen, it was great to see you, my dear friend. Irene, again, I'm so happy to see Irene Grillo every time she pops up. Olaf, the Russian metalhead, was here earlier. Girl with an eagle eye was here, as was Peggy Towel, and Jim, and Nancy, and Noel, and Holy Ralph Male Empire. Oh, we had like a reunion today. This was great, ladies and gentlemen. You made me feel better. But, listen, if Kate Peter is a Christian, okay, then why did she tell me to my face that religion is BS? Okay? You know what I'm saying? Aye, how you doing, Benny Blanco? I appreciate you tuning in, despite my tilted eye. FBI DOJ, listen, Kate Peter told me to my face religion is BS. I don't want to end negative here. We like to end positive. You can't be a Christian and say that. I'm sorry. You can be a Christian and believe a lot of things, all right? I have a very wide latitude when it comes to interpreting the Bible, all right? You can interpret the Bible basically any way you want, and I'm going to probably listen to you. But just saying a blanket statement that religion is BS, okay, you're probably not a Christian. Benny Blanco says, I got here better late than never. Well, thanks very much for tuning in. Pete Bunny Towel says hello. But yes, let me close, all right? Because I want to go eat and I want to take some time, and we'll be back with each other tomorrow for trivia. Let me close this way. If you benefited from this stream today, if you liked learning about the civil process, if you enjoyed my pontificating about Kate Peter, here's what I'd like you to do to pay it forward, ladies and gentlemen. FBI DOJ corruption survivor, she wasn't. Lindsay was raising money for her own legal purposes related to RO hearings involving Turtle Boy, involving the Rule 17 process. And who was intimately involved in that? All the people who Turtle Boy was going after in the Reed and O'Keefe case. So, yeah, no, if anything, I think Lindsay was just trying to protect her rights, and God bless her for that. Kate Peter, though, siphoning the donations, like raising money for herself, like there's so many things Kate has done. Do you understand that when Lindsay and other people organized 2 protests for the Justice for John O'Keefe movement, the only time there were ever courthouse protests for John's family, that was Lindsay. Did Lindsay try to raise money for the sign-making materials? No. Did Lindsay post on Facebook raising money? No. Kate Peter, who was not invited until the last minute and only came to that protest so she could get scenes filmed for Netflix, folks, she went on Facebook, 2 different groups, Critical K's and another group, and raised money without even telling some of the people who were at those protests. All right? No, it's not outlandish, and there is evidence, and you're going to see it, FBI, DOJ. And listen, you know no loyalty to these people. All right? Just because Kate Peter was in the orbit of people who investigated Karen Reed for John O'Keefe's death, you owe no loyalty. Sorry. They're capable of fault, and here Kate did multiple things that were quite worthy of being faulted. No one pays me $1. I do this at a loss. I routinely run out of money. I absolutely am disabled, and that's part of the reason why I have so much authenticity. Kate Peter met up with me in a Chick-fil-A parking lot and showed me an envelope full of cash. She didn't directly offer me a bribe, but she clearly took that money in front of me on purpose to show me what was on offer, and I said no. I have too much integrity for that. And I certainly won't be gaslit. I support your perspective, FBI, DOJ, but I know where I stand. I'm authentic in my perspective. I have evidence to back it up. And in the end, I will be vindicated. I'm right. I'm on the money about this. And I have absolutely been willing to put everything on the line to show what these people were up to. Notwithstanding the Reed and O'Keefe case, I'm talking about what Kate Peter and the Norfolk DA and others were engaged with on an ex parte basis. compromise the integrity of the justice system, and no amount of personal attacks, no amount of gaslighting, no amount of manipulation is going to stop me from exposing this. I'll go to the ends of the earth. At this point, I'm so pot committed because of what they did to my mother that I will never stop. 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I'll be talking about this longer than Dick Layer talked about Whitey Bulger. You don't understand what you've unleashed. I spent 3 years talking about the CCC. That wasn't personal. This is fucking personal. Is Kate going to be there, Benny? Or are you just going to call her after? Probably best to just stay in the chat, you know. Let's see. Nunya's like, I always wanted to be a Ghost Rider. Nunya with the comic relief. Can I do my outro, please? I just want to go eat and relax, all right? I don't want to get into an argument about Kate Peter right now. I've done enough pontificating. I have my Comfort Pete bunny towel, all right? All right, Benny. I don't know if I'm going to take you on your word. You don't roll like that? Really? You know, I tend to only ask questions I already know the answer to. I don't know. Not really an asshole unless you try to pull the wool over my eyes. Or if you're friends with Kate Peter. Then I'm quite an asshole. Yeah, no, listen. Let me talk a little bit about this. Here's why it's personal, for a number of reasons. In April of 2024, I saw something firsthand, the impact of the release of that phone extraction that changed me as a human being. Forever. And in that moment, I made a promise. Just like I did with the CCC. And when I make a promise, I keep it. So that's why it was originally personal. Okay? Because I do not go back on my promises. If I say the word, I promise, I mean it. 1 month from now, 2 months from now, 6 months from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and I said I promise in that moment. And I was fully committed with every bone in my body to taking those bastards down for what they did to her, releasing that phone. So yeah, I do take it pretty personal. That's why it started. That's why it was personal to start. I don't think some of you understand how much I sacrificed, and I don't even care about me, all right? It was all in furtherance of a good cause. I don't think you know how much I sacrificed. They wanted that girl to take her life. She's alive. And you're never going to take her out. That's why it was personal initially. Then it crescendoed. Because once I'm on something, that's it. And then I realized the manifold, overlapping, concentric social circles of influence, way worse than anything I'd ever covered, ever, in state government. Then it was professional, too. Then I was pissed personally and professionally. Add on to it the stuff with Towel Mom. Bro, I will march to Washington, D.C. I don't think you folks, some of you, understand how many political connections I have, how many people read my reporting. Half the government, when they meet, you should see the cards I have in my pocket. When they meet me, they're like, oh my God, like, Grant, you know, can I talk? Like, okay, I don't like that shit, but I still recognize it. And part of the reason I have so much influence is because I don't do this for money. One of the only people who just doesn't do it for money. So when I say something, it's because I mean it. All right? And I am a vengeful, politically, I'm a very vengeful person. Very peacefully. But you fuck with my government, I'm going to reform it. Go look at the vote on the CCC. And I don't fuck around. I don't like people who use words. If you want to talk about systemic reform, fucking do it. The people who actually do it don't need to go out and bloviate. Just fucking do it. Rain fucking hell down on him. You hurt someone I love, clearly. These people. and I'm not okay with that. All right. So, none yet? I would, but I think it's too late. I think they got to her. To tell Mom. It is what it is. Oh, FBI, DOJ. Kate Peter, like, misgendered her own children in front of my face. She said horrible things. She's just good at faking it, bruh. All right, I gotta go. Otherwise, I'm really just gonna keep yelling. But, yeah. It's personal, professional. It's about my love for country. I've always said my principles are safety, country, God, family. Safety, country, God, family, in that order, with academics thrown in for good measure. I've never misrepresented that. And these people compromised all of those things in the furtherance of selfish ends. And now I'm upset about it. It's one thing if I'm covering something. You have me upset about something. So, whatever. Doesn't really matter, right? Just keep mocking me. Sure, that'll work out well in the end. The CCC published an official promulgation a couple years ago calling me a racist because of my reporting. In the end, I was vindicated by a judge of Suffolk Superior Court who called me a journalist in a ruling based on that factual record. Thank you, Judy Welch. It's so good to see you. Thank you, Noel. I will, Noel. See, that's what I mean. You know, I didn't mean to go down that negative route there. Pete Bunny Towel was getting all set. Jane Q. Public. Yes, there was a hearing today. There was a civil hearing in the Karen Reed and John O'Keefe case. It went 15 minutes. You'll be able to watch it on the replay. The updates are there's, for those who missed it, in the Karen Reed and John O'Keefe civil case, there's a case that Karen filed in Bristol County. They're going to be joining those two cases together for at least the purposes of discovery. However, there's no agreement yet as to whether the cases for the purposes of trial will be joined together. Now, there was also an update about how Karen's going to go through the presentment letter period with the Mass State Police and the town of Canton, who she also intends to sue, and that presentment period will be shortened to expedite discovery in the civil cases. Furthermore, there's going to be a motion to compel answers to interrogatories filed by the O'Keefe family attorney in December 11th or 12th. There will be a motion hearing on December 19th at 2 p.m. related to that motion to compel. Oh, Jane Q. Public, your 20th super chat. God bless you, my friend. I appreciate you so much. But I appreciate all of your offers of good faith. I appreciate all of you in the chat. And thank you. It's an emoji. Oh, my goodness. I haven't seen one of these in a bit. Wait till you all see this super towel emoji. He has a headband on, which is a form of towel, first of all. He's a little pear. Oh, my goodness. We haven't seen one of these in a little bit. Look at him. Look at him, folks. Look at him right there. He's an adorable little dancing emoji pear, and I'm a little towel. Oh, you are definitely a little towel. I'll give you a little head pats. He's an adorable little towel. Thank you, Jane Q. Public. God bless you for your support, Towel Chair. All right, folks. Here we go. Let's close out. I meant to do this 10 minutes ago. It didn't happen. Here we go. One more time. If you bet dancing pear towel, I do love him. Pete Bunny Towel is like, he's a dancing pear towel. But yes, my name is Grant Smith Ellis. All right. I appreciate that, bossy Texas chick. I'll keep it in mind. But yes, my name is Grant Smith Ellis. If you benefited from this stream today, if you learned something today, if you want to pay it forward, if you want to show some gratitude for learning things, etc., the real way I want you to do it is to look for reasons to do small acts of service and kindness. I can stand up here and yell about what's wrong all day long. It's not going to fix anything, really, until we all decide to act from a different place. Okay? If we just all constantly acted from a place of trying to help, there wouldn't be any evil to fix. Okay? That's where I want us to get to. So, you know what I'm going to say. One of the easiest ways to do this is look for a reason to donate to homeless veterans. There should not be one veteran in the United States of America that is homeless against their will. They want to go live in the woods, we're not going to stop them. But there should not be one veteran in the United States of America homeless against their will. And you can help today by donating to them. Now, you can also, if you want to help animals, consider donating to an animal shelter run by veterans. See what I'm saying? Help animals, help veterans, everybody wins. You could also donate to an animal shelter. Pete Bunny Towel loves animal shelters. Run by anyone, because then you can help animals. If you're in the UK, you can donate to The Big Issue, which is a great way to help populations experiencing homelessness, ladies and gentlemen, and that would be appreciated. But it can really be something as simple as smiling at someone on the street and saying hello, reaching out to a friend or family member you haven't heard from in a while, or even donating 200 tomato plants like Francis Futrell did one time and then having them designated honorary towels forevermore. Oh, Sandy RN, thank you so much for your support of Towel Channel and for being a nurse. We need more nurses in the world as well. God bless you. I don't care what the Department of Education says. Nursing is a professional degree, and no one's going to tell me otherwise. God bless the nurses out there. We all love our nurses and healthcare workers. God bless you very much, and thank you so much for your support of Towel Channel. Let me do a little comment here. God bless you, Sandy. Thank you so much for your support. And then I'm going to put some hearts. But yes, let me continue, and I will say, after the tomato plants, I believe that those small acts of service and kindness, ladies and gentlemen, can ripple outwards and change our realpolitik from one centered on expanding, preserving, and demonstrating our power, which is the problem here, to instead one centered on preserving, expanding, and demonstrating our capacity to demonstrate small acts of service and unconditional love. In that way, we can live up to our Towel Summum Bonum or Eudaimonia in the Latin or Ancient Greek, respectively, our greatest good, and we can bring about a new digital epoch, defined by Aquarius the water bearer, standing tall and carrying a towel. I believe it's possible because of all of you, and I'm so grateful to be on this journey with you. Thank you, Corey. It's so good to see you, dear friend. Yes, it has, but I upset Bella with the cussing. But Corey, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Grant Smith Ellis, folks. Noel! Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, I am just having a day. I have an announcement before we go. Noel has shared, look at that Supertel emoji. He has a headband on. He is lifting weights, and he told me to keep it up. You got it, little emoji. If you can do it, if Pete Bunny Towel can do it, if Noel can do it, I can do it. I'm a little towel. God bless you, Noel. Thank you so much for your support. I really appreciated being able to spend some time with you all today. Oh, God bless you, Noel. Tel loves you as well, and I really was grateful to see so many names pop up. I was obviously finishing class. I'm going to try to figure out things, but this community means something. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. My mom kept degrading this place as like not real and not like important. No, it is. It is. And I'm so glad I saw some of you today. You matter in my life, and you matter because you're you. And I hope that's something you also take away from this stream. And don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise, all right? So, enjoy your Friday. Towel Friends on the X. You know you got a few minutes extra at the beginning, so I'm going to spend a few minutes with the Towel Friends on the YouTube. God bless you. Be well. You really make my life better. All right? You give me a reason to keep going. I don't feel hopeless. We'll figure it out. Whatever we have to do, we'll get Towel a housing attorney. We'll pay the tuition. We will figure it out. I will find a job that has accommodations, and I will go on to help people. That's all I want to do. Don't want to be rich. Don't need a lavish life. I just need a bed and the ability to help people. Give me a computer and let me go. But yes, Towel loved you all very much. Enjoy your Friday, Towel Friends on the X. Enjoy the sunshine if there's still some where you are. Nearly 50 degrees in Boston even this late in the day. And we will see each other tomorrow, sometime in the morning. Let's take it slow in the morning, maybe 9, 10 a.m. We'll do a few hours before college football, and then we'll go off to that. All right? My name's Grant Smith Ellis. Be well, Towel Friends on the X. Towel loves you very much. Thank you so much for watching with me today. And until next time, God bless you. Towel Friends on the YouTube. We had so much fun today. I know it wasn't a very long hearing, but we got to spend time together. Pete Bunny Towel was here. We're going to play trivia tomorrow. We got a little riled up. It was still fun. And I'm glad we got to spend this time together. So. You mean a lot to me. This community is important. Your names popping up, even with the new YouTube username format, we'll figure it out. They bring a very special form of solace to my heart. And I hope you also found some of that solace, even among the chaos, with your Towel Friends here. All right, be well. I'm going to see you again tomorrow. All right, I'm excited about that. I hope you're ready for some trivia. Somebody tell Rue and Allie and Bossy Texas Chickabella. Really do appreciate you, though. It's a very special day for me. It won't be in hand until I do the final, get the degree, but I finished my classes. I did it. I said I was going to do it, and I did it. Yay, I'm excited, Noel. We'll play some trivia. It'll be great. I did it, though. I finished my classes. I just want to share this moment with you, and you all were a big reason down the stretch why I was able to do it. You kept me going. You believed in me. You created a community here. You made me feel like I wasn't alone. And I don't know if I would have made it through law school without you all, but I basically did it. I finished my classes, and doesn't feel real yet, but I did it. I hope my dad is proud. All right. On that note, before I start crying, I'm going to go. Tao loves you very much. Until tomorrow morning, my friends, my name is Grant Smith Ellis. Be well, and thank you so much for all of your support and compassion. For me, for each other, means a lot. All right. Good night. See you later, Tao friends. I appreciate it, Benny. I've made note. Thank you, Peggy. All right. God bless, folks, in the spirit of compassion. Until next time, which is tomorrow, bright and early, my name's Grant Smith Ellis. Tao loves you very, very much. Really. I didn't think I was going to finish. I really didn't think I was going to get through it. I don't want to belabor it, but it's a special day. All right. Talk soon, Tao friends.